We had a Happy New Year with that winning that game yesterday. It was good for a lot of people around our organization, but I know our fans too had fun with it. It was a really good game, a good day of football, and nothing changed from what we the observations last night about what all three phases played really well and played in complement to each other, and we got the kind of game we needed at that time. And so it comes down to round two, and for 2023, and we're gonna get it cranked up this week, and it's a championship opportunity if there ever was one, and so we're going for it again. I know that there's been maybe some question about the order of the games being played on Sunday or whatever. And that doesn't mean anything to me. We don't care about that one bit. It's not going to change anything that we're doing. We're going for it. And then maybe there'd be a pretty good party afterward, to watch the next game. But the last thing I would ever worry about is Coach Campbell's team not getting ready to play, regardless of what's at stake or what's going on. He's going to get them fired up and jacked. That's all he's ever done. And that'll be a great match too, So we got to take care of business and be focused on our stuff and have a great week. Hopefully, get a couple guys healthy again and go put a finishing touch on this regular season with some excitement to come.
Coach, to that point, you're preparing all week for potentially to clinch a playoff spot. Let's say half an hour before the game, you were told playoffs are out of the question. How would that change an athlete's mental standpoint in terms of playing that game? Because that might be the situation the Lions are in should you guys win.
Well, it won't be the first time they have that thought, so it won't be like it shocks them. They understand. They know what's going on. And so, in some respects, because and I know what I would think, if people think you're not going to go for it, that's where I'm going even harder. I'm going to find every way I can. And if somebody thinks you're going to hold back, there's so much conversation about that, and it's kind of like the syndrome, like, if you don't have something to play for, you're not going to play hard. Who do you think these guys are? These guys are freaking warriors. They're going to go out and battle. They don't care. I mean, maybe there's some guys that don't, but I don't know. I don't understand that thinking, and so that I wouldn't. You'd say a cuss word and away you go, and the way you're off and playing, and that's it. So,
with Jordyn out now, Cody steps into that role. What did you think of the way he played? It seemed like he was pretty active in that game yesterday. Cody Barton.
Yeah, Cody, he did a really nice job, and he embraced the opportunity to be in charge, make the calls and all that kind of stuff. He's been working hard to be, really on point when that comes. He's always, he's been working at it for a long time, so it wasn't a big deal. All we didn't need to do is change his helmet, and away we go. So he did well. He worked well with Tanner, and Tanner did a nice job in his spots when he was in there, and so just like we hope, guys step to the opportunity and guys rally around him, and it's seamless, hopefully, and so we'll see what happens. But you've heard me say this a number of times. You don't replace these guys, and you don't have this. You're not getting the same guy coming in. You may get a better version of somebody else, in the opportunity of it, and so we're going to keep a real positive thought about it. And really, our heart is broken for Jordyn to miss. I mean, he's been so much in the fabric of this organization since he showed up the first day, and. Hearts out to him because he wants to play football and he doesn't get to. So we got to do our part.
What would you think of Tanner looking back at his game? Former third-round pick with the Raiders didn't work out there, but what has he brought to you, and what have you seen from him?
Tanner, back in the day, he was a kind of an all-purpose guy, played a lot of safety, and wasn't a true inside linebacker, in the box linebacker. And so he's been in transition for some time, working at it. He's a really good athlete. He's really fast. He's tough, and he's a good tackler, and that what showed up. He did a nice job with assignments and responsibilities. Almost had a pick, so he did well. And he's in the couple times he's spotted in here for us. He's really tackled well, and so we can use all that we can get.
Does Brooks need a reconstruction, a full reconstruction need?
I wouldn't define it as that. He's has to have surgery.
So you're not yet sure of the time frame?
No. Wait, it's one day. We don't know. But it's ACL surgery, and so you guys already know certain parameters about that. So
Is it a deal where he has to wait till the swelling goes down before they?
yes.
Has he had issues with that knee at all before?
No. If you took a look at it, I didn't see it till last night. It was an awkward step, when he was kind of spinning around and twisting, he just hit wrong, just landed wrong, and it was unfortunate.
Is that as fast as, he closed really quickly on that.
That was a great play, yeah. He was going for it up, to the very last instant. In the midst of the tackle, he knew he had done it. So.
Is there a bunch of other stuff around the ACL, or is it just that as far as you can tell?
No. They'll find out when they get in there.
So does Tanner take over full-time in Cody's role, or will you mix other guys in there?
Well, you'll have to wait and see on how we do that. We'll have a good week of practice and figure it all out. It does open up opportunities, so we'll see. Johnny Radigan's been looking for a chance, and Alexander's been looking for a shot, so we'll see what happens.
You've had Alexander in the practice squad a while. What's he shown you? Just
Alexander? Yeah, that he's a tough stud. He's an inside backer, physical, really strong, bigger than our other guys. Has good experience and awareness. Very comfortable, he's played inside and outside. Very comfortable playing behind the line of scrimmage.
How did Tyler come out yesterday?
He's better today. That's the report is that his leg feels a little better today. He got banged. It's not a serious injury, but it bothered him, immediately afterwards. So he recovered enough to get back in. And then I went up to him and said, we're going to win this game. We got a big game coming up. You're out, for now. But he was chomping to get back in. So.
And you said it was in the same spot or area where he had the fracture.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I understand. He got bruised in the same spot.
You mentioned there could be some guys returning this week. Who's on your radar?
Well, Homer's one of the guys that has a chance to get back. We'll see what happens with Ryan. Who else we got? Abe has a chance to get back. We'll see how that goes.
Phil Haynes, what happened with him?
He got a high ankle sprain.
Hey Pete, Charles Cross is one we don't talk much about him, just how he's played. It seems like we tend to talk about Lucas and Phil Haynes. What's just your assessment of him this season?
Oh, he's had a terrific first season. Up against all the guys he's seen and all the schemes and all the stuff, all the running game that he has had to take on, different than his college career. He's done a great job. And so often, it might look like the tackle gets beat on a rush when we needed to have the rest of the pocket fit right and the quarterback step up under and stuff like that. There's a lot of subtleties to it. We think he's done a great job, and both he and Abe have played fantastic football for us, and so they're just getting started.
How did Al make it through yesterday for you playing?
He did well. He played well. We spotted him, didn't overplay him, tried to just keep him in there and to keep him fresh and keep him going, make sure we didn't overwork his Achilles, and he seemed to come out fine.
Bruce Irvin didn't play a whole lot. Was he fine health-wise? Or?
Yeah, he's doing okay. He's got something he's working on, but it wasn't quite 100%.
how did Stone do at right tackle, filling in?
Solid. Did a solid job. We ran the ball well, and we were stout. He did a good job. He jumped right into it. It was great that he was able to play these last 2 weeks. He really helped us out.
He was pretty much just a left side guy coming up, right?
How's he adjusted to that?
He played over there most of his college days, and so we brought him in and really kind of stuck him there. But we've been flipping him for some time now, getting him ready to play both sides. He looks a little bit more like a classic right tackle, and monster of a guy and all that. So the transition hasn't been hard for him. He's very comfortable playing both sides now.
Jonathan Abram played every defensive snap for you yesterday. What did you make of?
He did a good job. He mixed it up. He had some good opportunities. Missed a pick opportunity that could kind of knocked around a little bit, but was active. Pressured well a couple times. Did some good stuff. We used him in a lot of different spots, and he seemed to handle it fine. He was comfortable playing. It was good to have him out there. Did a really good job in special teams too.
Now you've had him for a couple of weeks. What stood out about him that you didn't see from watching him on film?
No, not much. No, I've seen him. I've watched a lot of film on him. I mean, he's done a million things. I mean, he's played nickel. He's played behind the line of scrimmage. He's played deep safety. He's done everything, in their package. So there's no other things that we're going to come up with in this amount of time. He can do the same things that he can do the same things in our stuff. So, and we've entered into it with that thought that he is versatile and he does have the ability to play different spots. And so, but now that he's comfortable and he's understanding it and he's communicating well, that's just took some time. So.
Is it a little bit like Jamal and how you
Very
had
much,
intended?
yeah, very much so. Yeah, very similar, and he's been used in a lot of different situations because he's a versatile athlete, and he can bring some heat when he comes and all that kind of stuff. So, he's progressed well.
How was it having Jamal there pregame?
Yeah, I didn't even see him. I heard he had impact. He was going crazy and having fun. He was really jacked about playing the Jets. And he said, I know we communicated during the week, and he said, "There's no way I'm missing this one," and he was fired up and all that. So I didn't get to see him to jump up and down with him, but.
With Geno, that had the potential to be an emotional day with his history with the Jets and everything. How do you feel like he handled it?
He just nailed it. He nailed it. It was no factor to him on the outside. Maybe it was internally, but like everything that he's handled, he just handled it with poise and a calm. And I thought Geno played a really solid game. I think you asked me last night, what do you think of Geno, how he played? He did it the way that I picture it. When we're running the football well and playing a good game on defense and all, he ran the club and managed it great and took care of business and was aggressive with throwing the ball down the field. He took some shots. He gave our guys a chance. He gave the guys a chance up the sidelines maybe 3 or 4 times in the game. Gave them a ball that was competitive. They played it really well, and there was some hand fighting and all that going on. So I think that showed he played, even though he was really determined to play really smart, sharp, football and play within himself, he still stayed aggressive and looked for his opportunities and took them, So I thought he did a good job.
What's really led to Darrell Taylor's kind of breakout here in the last few years?
Yeah, about a month ago, it made some sense to him about featuring his strengths and really trying to maximize the speed rushes that he's so good at. And I think it's kicked him into a different gear in terms of he's out there more. He's trying to maximize his ability to run around guys, and he's got a great get off, and he's very athletic, and that's his strength, as opposed to trying to do too many things and maybe watering down his good shots at getting to the quarterback, and he's zeroed in, and so it's clear, that he's changed, and he's hotter with his pass rush right now. So we've got to keep him in that mode. Still use him to game him up and all that kind of stuff, to keep him guessing. But you better get ready. He's flying. He's flying at you.
Was he frustrated at all during the time when he wasn't playing a whole lot?
Yeah. That's why we sat down and started talking about it. Because he was frustrated and it wasn't happening the way he wanted it to, and kind of got off to a little flashy start, and then it kind of got quiet a little bit. And as things go, through the course of a long season. He's coming out of it in great shape right now. He's really a factor. I mean, and I don't know if you guys could tell if you will watch closely enough to see, he had some phenomenal efforts to finish on the quarterback. I mean, phenomenal. He was laying out and flying. You can even see him on field goal block, giving great effort and having a big impact there too. So he's really giving us everything he's got.
He was trying spin moves earlier in the year and still staying on guys. Was that new to him? They're just trying to do the inside move stuff?
Hasn't been a big spin guy in his history. Lots of times it takes guys a while to develop that if it isn't a natural form. And it wasn't just natural for him. He didn't do it a lot in college, but it's coming. He's so coordinated, and it'll be part of his game that'll be a big factor as he continues to work off the speed stuff.
Does Cody have much experience with you guys calling the games in a regular season?
No, not much, but he's done it a ton in practice for us, and it's just second nature to him now. He's really in command. He's really smart, really student of it, and takes a lot of pride in it, and so not a hitch with him doing it.
He did it last year, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's right.
And what have you seen from Radigan in the preseason games inside?
He's representing really well. Johnny's done really well. He's been very active. He had a couple tackles again yesterday, and in special teams, he's playing fast. when they released him back to us, he was ready. You know, it wasn't like we had to kind of ease our way into it. We were concerned, and we had to see it. But he just jumped back. He had done a fantastic job of rehabbing and preparing to come back. And so he came back at 100%. We just had to kind of ensure it. And when he's been on the field, he's jumped right back in.
It seemed like DJ Dallas gave you a pretty big effort yesterday.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I mean, still dealing with the ankle a little bit. You saw him limping a little bit throughout the day yesterday. What have you kind of learned about him over the last month? The way he finished the Rams game and the way he played yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know if we learned a whole lot more because we love him, you know, and he's a just, you know, dyed-in-the-wool guy, man. He's really such a good competitor with such a great attitude. If you guys could hear him talk about, you know, I'm gonna play this week. I'm in. You know, there's nothing keeping me from playing. And the way he is determined to do it. I mean, this is 3 weeks ago when he got hurt. He's maximized every opportunity to take care of himself and heal himself so that he could play with his guys. He's not 100%, but you can't tell because he's going so hard. I thought that the style difference between the way he ran and the way Ken ran helped us. You know, he hit the line of scrimmage and bounced and spun and did his stuff the way he does it. I thought it was a really good compliment to, you know, you better look out for Ken when he gets the ball in his hands about jumping. He could jump anywhere. Running game and passing game, he did really well. So, and he played a ton of special teams too, which is great. He's such a good special teams player for all those same reasons. Yeah, he might have been the MVP in that game.
The play where Geno flips it to him, and that's obviously just kind of a completely, they're just playing ball, as Geno said, kind of thing. But I guess his awareness to kind of be able to make something out of it.
Yeah, you know, he's a former quarterback. He's a guy that's had his hand on the ball a lot growing up, and good all-around athlete and all that. Those kinds of things. These guys, they shock us because you don't see him practice that stuff, but that stuff happens, you know. And he's a natural. He really is. And so it doesn't surprise me. They made it look like it was nothing, which for them it wasn't. It was, you know, easy stuff.
Pete, the DJ Dallas and Ken Walker, the variant in running style, was that planned, or, I mean, going in, is that something?
Well, yeah, I mean, we knew the way this game was set up, you know, with the depth chart, that DJ was going to be the second guy going, and you know, DJ, remember all the way back to something happened last year with our guys, and Rashad kind of stepped into kind of a different mode running our offense, and he affected Homer and he affected DJ and the guys that were here in a way that the tempo of how they're reading stuff and hitting the line of scrimmage, and both Homer and DJ came back better than they were the year before, just coming off of last season. I remember the last 5 or 6 games when Rashad was so hot, and you're seeing it. It's a carryover, and Homer will do the same thing when he's in there. You know, Travis, he shows us the same tempo understanding, and you know, Chad Morton, those guys, they all figured it out, and so Ken's still getting it. The couple runs that he had that came back against the grain were just amazing vision and using the blocking scheme and all that and understanding it. That's all coming, but that's what we see in DJ, and we know that DJ weighs 220-something pounds. You know, he's heavy and hits thick and is really tough, and so expected it to look like that. We're hoping it would look like that.
Speaking of Rashad, from what you know, is there any chance he could get back to you if you guys keep playing here?
When we were down in LA, he's telling us, you know, get to the playoffs. You know, I'm coming back. You know, so he's determined. Our guys are thinking that's crazy, that it's too early, but that's what he's thinking. So you know, more power to him.
Do you guys have any chance to get back this year?
There's a chance, yeah, that he could come back and get back to practice with us. We got to get him out there. He's as of last week, he was pretty much cleared.
Is Gabe okay to just play a whole game if there's no Phil?
Well, we haven't worn him out, so without Phil, he'll go into the game thinking he's playing the whole game. But if we need to have a rotation, we have it orchestrated how to do that.
With Ken, you told us last week that there's sort of a balance that you have to strike, and you don't want to take away the cutback stuff.
Sure.
Was that the run, the 60-yard run? Was that a good example of that?
No, we're not trying to take away anything. We're just trying to make sure that he's really consistent, hitting the line of scrimmage and using the blocking schemes to the fullest. And being, we're trying to help him trust that if he stays aggressive, all the stuff will happen, and you know, he'll have a consistency that you're seeing. You know, that you'll see him be more effective, and that's all. That's all we're talking about.
You mentioned on the radio earlier you didn't know if it was a conscious effort by Tyler Colby and know what to block well, just kind of attribute to Disley. Did you talk to them today, and if so, was that the case?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of poking at him a little bit today, giving Dis some credit for his input in the game too. He got those guys inspired and want to make sure that they played up, and they did. I think there was a collected thought that they wanted to really hold up their end of it, and they just played their best. Colby was really effective blocking, and Noah was too. The two of those guys really showed up, and of course, with Tyler catching the touchdown pass, that's just kind of icing on the cake for those guys. They're feeling pretty good about themselves today.
What did you think of a DK Metcalf's day?
I said it to DK late, somewhere in the fourth quarter. I said, it's just one of those days. The targets that we got, we just didn't hook up on. We went to him in a big way, down the end zone, for the touchdown, a couple big deeps that just didn't work. But it was just that day that the ball just didn't get to him, and he said, I ain't worried about it, and so he was good about it. Because, watch out this week.
How much did you give it to Diggs today in film about his interception?
We had some fun with it. Yeah, we had some fun with it. Yeah.
Did you realize right away that was an homage to Deion Sanders?
No, I didn't think of it that way. I took it as a personal insult. I love that play. I love the way that play came out.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay.